Hey, good morning, Perry. Welcome to episode 3. We're on week 3 of the Austin Real Estate Today podcast. How was your weekend?
Excellent, man. The market's heating up. A lot of crazy stuff going on here.
Absolutely. It's not just hot temperature-wise in Austin in August. The market is crazy. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the market today. But before we get started, I'm pretty excited about this. I mean, I don't know if you've been looking at the traffic. I mean, we're getting a lot of traction on this show. So I think that from at least our initial estimate of our, jokingly we say 3 listeners, we seem to be continuing to build our listener base. I actually think there's a lot of agents listening to us as well, because I actually got some emails over the weekend thanking us for putting the information out. So I just wanted to relay that to you. And it is pretty exciting.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you very much for listening to us. Now we have 4 listeners.
Yeah, we got 4 listeners. We at least have an agent too that's listening as well. So
yeah.
Okay, good. Let's get into the news. This is the first one is a fun one. I don't know if you saw that Forbes article that was in the Business Journal. So here's the deal. They did a survey across the country, and they were looking for the coolest city. Now, most of us, albeit we're biased, would think that Austin would rank pretty high, if not the highest, one of the highest in the country. So out comes this list from Forbes, and Houston beats Austin as America's coolest city. So the title of this article is "Say What?" Are you kidding? Houston, not Austin? So what's interesting is they even ranked other cities within Texas, like Dallas was number 4, San Antonio was number 11, and Fort Worth was number 13, and we came in at 19.
Wow. I can't believe a day when Fort Worth beats Austin. But
yeah, no kidding, right? No kidding. Well, what's interesting about this is if you look at some of the criteria, and this will be fun for some of our listeners to think about this. So let's talk about some of the criteria. So they talked about the selection criteria being arts and cultural offerings, recreational amenities, number of locally owned restaurants, diversity, the median age, the unemployment rate, and net migration. It seems like they got the wrong data set, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would argue that net migration we're probably the lowest on. I mean, executive migration for sure we should rank up there, but below executive migration, I would say no. And
yeah, and I've always had some gripes with Forbes when they put out real estate related articles. I mean, I've kind of gone toe-to-toe back in St. Louis when I was there with the editors, and they actually did a retraction because their article was wrong. So let's just take some of the easy ones. Recreation, and they're saying that basically Houston beats Austin. I guess and the article actually in the Business Journal talks about this, they must have missed the Lady Bird Lake Trails, Zilker Park, the Bellaheim down in Circle C, all the parks around Austin. It's pretty amazing that they can position it this way, and I don't know if they were doing it based on acreage or some other random factor, but I know that the restaurant scene here, it keeps getting written up. That's the other thing that I saw that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I thought Austin had more restaurants per capita than anyone else in Texas, too.
Yeah, it's interesting because you think about like Uchi and Noble Pig and Salt Lick and all these other locally owned foodie favorites that are all getting written up in the national press. But this is more of a fun article for us to talk about. We'll turn to real estate next, but I wouldn't be surprised if this got a lot of blogging and a lot of people carrying on about it, just because it is such a matter of pride for Austin to have the market be at the top of the list. When we don't come out top on the list, it's one of those things where people start to get a little riled up. So let's actually transition over to an article about Lakeway area. You may have heard about this back a few years ago. There was a big project next to Falcon Head called Serene Hills that was announced. It took 5 years for them to get the water, the development rights, and everything else organized in terms of roads and water and all that. Well, guess what? They're starting first phase. They got finally everything lined up. They're going to do 68 of the 338 lots, and this is a 450-plus acre subdivision. It's right off 71. So if you think about coming out of Bee Caves on 71, going past where Hamilton Pool Road is, it's going to be on the north side of the highway there. And there's actually 3 main builders building this project, Perry. It's Bellaheim Homes, Brohn Homes, and Sitterle homes. And they're going to be building houses in this first phase, 400,000 and up, large 15,000 square foot lots, and everything's going to have a side entry garage. This is pretty exciting because Falcon Head is primarily built out. You know, you're talking about a project that's sort of phasing down now, and this is going to be the next big thing in the Lakeway area for people that are looking for a little bit nicer move-up home, not the entry-level stuff.
Right, right. In fact, location just south of the hills at Lakeway is a prime development spot too. So lots of things going in there. That new Galleria over there, it seems to be really booming over there.
Well, what's also mentioned in the article about this is HEB has taken down a bunch of land, and they're talking about building a large HEB. Now, the other one that gets a lot of traffic that's real closer to Whole Foods is right there at B Caves and 71. This is far enough down that if you get right past Hamilton Pool Road, they already own the land there, and right. They've got it slotted to put another big HEB over there. So that'll help as well.
I think so, especially with all those communities just beyond the Pedernales right over there too. Being able to use that HEB will be really convenient for them.
Absolutely. As you continue on 71, obviously Taylor Morrison's got a big project out there, and you've got a number of other, and the big draw is obviously the Lake Travis schools. So you've got a lot.